Well, welcome along to match day 2 of the total Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations as we return to Niger's capital, Niamey, for the resumption of Group A. Nigeria have the chance to be the first side to secure a place in the knockout stage. They can follow up their opening day win over Burundi with victory over this afternoon's opponents, reaching the semi-finals of the tournament. Would also take their place at this summer's Under-20 World Cup to be hosted in Poland this summer. At the Amajita, the boys of South Africa will hope to provide an upset to keep Group A very much alive. Certainly, Coach Thabo Senong spoke post-match after their draw with hosts Niger about the troubles they'd had in the build-up. No friendlies, no real time to bring the group together. Players missing from the squad. But there is good news. They have their captain back. Bad news for Badges there. Number 16 had started the opening game in goals. And he now replaced by South African captain Lekani Walter Kubeka, who failed to be available for the opening game. Well, Nigeria themselves have made a couple of changes from the opening 2-0 win over Burundi. They'll be looking for more from the same. Led by captain Ikuem Udu Utin. They very much saw the best of their Scandinavian-based players, particularly Aya Azifi, with the opening goal that set the platform for an impressive opening day victory. Coach Paul Hassan Agbogan knows that they want to make the most of their opportunity here, having seen the country's Under-20 team miss out on qualifying for the tournament 2 years in Zambia after a shock 5-all aggregate third round qualifier with Sudan. Incredibly, a 4-3 defeat on home soil for the Flying Eagles saw them crash out, but they're back. And they've got their eyes on an 8th title at this age group. That would be a record-extending title. And you can see why Nigeria in such good spirits coming into this match. Victory over Burundi after Niger and South Africa shared a draw means they are in pole position at the top of the group, and victory would give them an unassailable lead and see them qualify for the final 4. But South Africa could change the narrative. A draw would at least keep matters in their own hands. A victory would certainly send shockwaves through the tournament here, hosted by Niger for the very first time. A relatively sparse crowd here at the Stade Général. That'll certainly likely change later for this evening's contest when the hosts Niger take to the field against Burundi. It was a fabulous opening ceremony and atmosphere. Had there been a roof on the stadium, it would have been taken off. And Boubacar Goume scored the first goal of the tournament, only for South Africa to hit back through somewhat dampened the undiluted joy. But a vital goal for South Africa, because coming into this game on the back of a defeat to then face one of the main favourites might have been too much for them. As mentioned, Sengnong, South African coach, felt that he's been trying to find the best way to approach that opening game. They played a very defensive 4-4-2, two very tight lines of four in front of goalkeeper Glenn Badges. Senong spoke after the match about preparations not being there. Niger and other countries haven't had friendlies and other opportunities to get their preparations right. He feels they're having to get them right during the tournament. So he has made a few changes. Maybe looking to try be a little bit more progressive and just reactive as they were on the opening day. Certainly Burundi did cause Nigeria some problems. Their biggest problem was not just creating chances, it was getting them on target. So South Africa will hope that they'll have done their homework right in trying to cause an upset. But out leading the teams, Kenyan referee Peter Waleri, as we prepare for South Africa against Nigeria. So Nigeria with the opportunity to book their place in the semi-finals on just match day 2. South Africa looking to keep their dreams of the knockout stages alive. But now the national anthems of Nigeria and South Africa.
Nigeria. Et maintenant, l'hymne national du Nigeria.
So now just the build-up to kick-off in this Group A match. And South Africa welcome back Cape Moya goalkeeper Kulakani Kubeka for the opening Group A draw with host Niger. He was missing in action, but back to take the armband from Givemore Coupe. As Glenn Badish drops to the bench. Civilis Mikise takes a midfield role beside Blom, the number 15, having come off the bench to score the vital equaliser. And he is rewarded. There's also Luke Gareth Leroux drops to the bench in place of Mikise. There's also a place for Levuyo Fiwa, the number 17. As promised, Lebo Makuma drops out. Nigeria, captained by Ekuem Udo Utin, leads a side that also makes a couple of changes. And another player who came off the bench to score is rewarded. Number 19, Maxwell Michael, takes his place on the left-hand side of attack. Al Hassan pushed further forward to get close to main man. The other goal scorer on match day one, Nazifi, who looked very impressive. Paul Agbogon. So final pre-match prayers. Big imposing coach will want more of the same, as he saw from his players in the, particularly the second half against Burundi. Just leaning forward there. South African coach Thabo Senon. He certainly looked a relieved coach at the end of the draw with Niger. As mentioned, went into some length in the post-match conference, describing the problems they had. Missing their captain, no real build-up. And that very much affected his decisions in terms of formation. So it'll be interesting to see if South Africa are any more positive in what is an even more challenging match on paper against Nigeria. Already, even in the opening 15 seconds, looking much more energetic and positive, but Nigeria now on the ball with Al Hassan, who just slows it down. Utin just looking to keep a bit of possession. The Flying Eagles in green and white shorts. South Africa in their famous gold and green shorts. great opportunity, as mentioned, for Nigeria to try and take their spot in the knockout stage, and an early test for a returning captain, Rebecca. The gloves not quite as sticking as he'd hoped, but no player on their toes in front of him. Well, the pitch has certainly been an issue. The Stade Mardani, the artificial surface, certainly a lot more consistent. This pitch, a lot of grassless areas, and the bobble certainly not helping a passing game. A driving run up the right flank from Abubakar. It was the number 17's ball that picked out Nazifi at the back post to open the scoring against Burundi and set Nigeria on their way to success. We're hoping for more of the same as the multicolored boots of Jamil gives the ball away, but fortunately for them, the referee spotting an infringement. So there you picture Fiwa, who's come into the side, the man closing down right back Zaruma. South Africa were so passive against Niger. As I said, two tight lines of four in front of the goalkeeper. Didn't have the confidence against very excitable and generally very impressive performance from host Niger, with a packed crowd here. And already they're trying to get passages of play. Nigeria, and altogether more challenging proposition as Al Hassan spreads the ball out to Zaruma. Now Jamil, who's certainly a player not afraid to have an effort on goal. 3 times he tested out the Burundi goalkeeper without success. Now looks to deliver in. Opposing midfielder on the ball again, but the Kano Pillars FC player elects to go back, and Nigeria start again. Zaruma, first touch for Aremo. Long switch, and it's a strong header infield from Akuem. Doesn't find a fellow green shirt. The referee not sure quite what infringement he saw there. The Flying Eagle certainly looked bemused. South Africa weren't even claiming, which is never a good sign for a referee's decision. Just stretching the neck muscles there to get the header on. Now a touch for Orzan Wafor. Easy ball into Jamil. Space and time to look up. Ball almost cuts out, round the corner neatly. Abubakar linking brilliantly with Zaruma. Now crosses. And the low cross almost finding the feet of Nazifi. Real danger man for South Africa. Well, the shot blocked, and it's far kindly, but Al Hassan with options in the middle can only hit the side netting. As Walter Kubeka looks around accusingly and his back four. Keep Umoya, goalkeeper, launching long, but it's bobbling all over the shop. But Abubakar happy to leave it for a throw. She leaves to Zaruma. Zonwa for bobbling ball for Udin Ikuem. Is too high. Nothing Abubakar could do about that. A chance for Nigeria to get in behind. It's a wonderful ball over. Well, the touch just didn't kill the ball. As Effiong Maxwell Michael looked to get in behind. He would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he allowed Phillips to get in. Quick long throw from Zaruma. Cleared out there. First attempt. Get another go. A chance just going a begging for Nigeria. Last gasp defending, saving South Africa. Ball clipped into the back post, but it's a smart save from Kubeka. Some warning signs for Amajita. Excellent touch as South Africa try and get some possession. Really struggled to hold on to the ball past that opening passage of play from kickoff. Ball whipped across. It's a great first touch there. Well, he looked like he was trying to pick out his teammate. And maybe Fua would have been better going for a goal. But no problem for the imposing Gabriel Oramad. South Africa in behind there. In fact, when Fua took the touch, the Nigerian defender did well not to make contact. It would have been a definite penalty. And in the end, there was no conviction about the final ball. Heavy touch, under pressure, decides to clip long. And a waste, really. It's a long throw, finds its target. Al Hassan looks to get in behind, but the ball needing a little bit more whiz out of it, but give it away, and the pitch certainly not helping matters. Nigeria might have wanted the referee to just pause for a moment before blowing his whistle. Nazifi looked in a good position to make the most of the space that it opened up after seeing his teammate clattered. And once again, it's Michael who was trying to break clear, this time upended. And a fabulous position here for Nigeria to test out Kubeka. So what can Nigeria do from this early in the game? Abubakar not really with the direction or pace to particularly worry Kubeka. Comfortably seeing it over his crossbar. A long throw, Nigeria looking to turn South Africa quickly. Al Hassan. It was an excellent touch to go round Abrahams. He proclaims his innocence. Referee Peter Waweru not interested. It did look like the ball might have been running away, and Al Hassan maybe going to ground easily. It's another set piece for South Africa to defend. Al Hassan and Phillips. A little bit of wrestle in the box, not helped by Kubeka. The referee's had a word, but often seems like referees ignore those situations or just blow for a defensive free kick, but whipped it to the near post area, but cleared comfortably. And Nigeria go all the way back to Oramad. As they look to build again from the back. Zaruma back to Igo Ogbu. Imposing centre back. Applies his trade with Rosenberg in Norway. Nazifi comes short. Clipped over by Jamal, but asking too much of his captain. Phillips goes long with the throw. South Africa try and pick up the second ball, but unfortunately for them, it's Nigeria who are winning the majority of them as Effiong Michaels looks to get in, but it's a great challenge in from Abrahams. He looks to get forward quickly. And after a bright spark at the start of the match, South Africa, through design or through the pressure of Nigeria, have somewhat followed suit as they did against Niger. At times, Niger's possession stats were upwards of 73%. South Africa looked to try and play the percentage of what they did with the little possession they had, and it was no surprise. A set piece was what brought them back level against the host nation. Rare bit of possession, but the press of the Flying Eagles, too much for them to cope. And 15 minutes gone, and it's South Africa 0, Nigeria 0 on match day 2 of Group A here at the Total Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Al Hassan back onto his favoured left foot. And thankfully, a player who shows his talent, ability to play with his right as he clips the ball out wide. Abubakar, exactly the kind of skill, twisting and turning he showed in setting up the opening goal for Nigeria. Just muscled out of it by Mabiliso. Strong play from the wing back. And South Africa's 3 centre backs needing plenty of help from Mabiliso. and Phillips on the right-hand flank. For Nigeria, it's very much attempting to get in behind those wing backs and stretch that back three. And that way trying to create space. Go long towards Al Hassan, but it's strong in the air from Gakaba. The ball whipped out towards the advancing captain, but Phillips read it very well. An athletic fullback playing in that right wing back role. But now can Nigeria take advantage of him being out of position? There's that ball in behind. Effiong Michael twisting and turning. Phillips now back in position. A little bit too much juice on the ball, but Nazifi wins it. Leaves off to his captain, Udin. The ball from Akuem, Udo, Utin. Cut out to South Africa, look to go early. Well, excellent header from Ozon Wafor. There was a little bit of worry seeing Ormad, the goalkeeper, rushing out. Jamil trying see if he could keep the ball in to some degree, but already out for a throw that Phillips will take. Long throw down the line, but it's 3 green shirts. Although no one falling for the trick. The only one falling was Monyani there. Certainly was the biggest threat for South Africa against Niger, the number 12. Had 2 or 3 pretty good chances. Certainly one time getting in on goal. Didn't quite show that killer instinct. Ruma doesn't like the options, so goes to Igo Ogbu. South Africa will be certainly delighted if that's how the passage of plays play out for Nigeria. But space now for Al Hassan. They don't want that to happen too often. And the ball down into space, but it's overcooked by Ikuem. And the referee hasn't had too many issues to worry about. A couple of set pieces. 2 Nigerians walking a tightrope of missing the 3rd final Group A match. Centre-back Ozon Wafor, Valentine James of Niemba International picking up a booking along with Adamu Ibrahim Al Hassan. Question would be whether it be worth the booking if Nigeria were to win the game. Therefore, missing a game of little importance. Certainly has been accusations of that in other tournament situations in world football. But so far, no sign that that would be the case here. Excellent turn. Stood up well, and it's a great ball to release Nkobo. It just runs out of space, and it's a high five for Igo Ogbu. It's looking like the defenders of old, or players of old. I'm sure his shorts just seem to have ridden up. Maybe the style he likes. You see his defensive partner. He's certainly, like most of the team, far closer to their knees. Whatever makes you comfortable. As the ball's lifted forward, Nazifi with a clever header into space. Al Hassan, but it's come off the number 8's hand. And South Africa's defense can breathe a sigh of relief as they try and keep their discipline and keep. Now a chance for South Africa to try and put some pressure on, but only 2 gold shirts for Monyan to aim for. And now they're exposed at the back. It's brilliant strength and balance, and a wonderful back heel sets up the shot. But wide it goes. Fabulous run. Think from Abubakar. Just couldn't be knocked off the ball. And there he was, Abubakar. Kept going, and then this beautiful back heel into Eremo. The strike failing to match the skill shown by winger Abubakar. The Plateau United FC player certainly has impressed so far in this tournament. As Phillips throw. See South Africa lose possession far too quickly. It's putting real pressure on the Amajitas. Having to play a lot of this match without the ball to keep those concentration levels the level they need to be against 7-time record winners Nigeria. It is a tall order for South Africa. But for now, I'll certainly be pleased that it's remaining goalless. Nigeria do look fresh and lively, and they're starting to get the break of the ball. Abubakar has options, eventually does go right. Once on the edge, but it goes into the area. It's just a little rushed from South Africa, the slight panic. And now an opportunity for Igo Ogbu to come forward. Goes to Al Hassan, excellent run from Abubakar. It's the header. Clearance from Coupe. Number 3 stepping across. Give more Coupe, and certainly South Africa have to give a hell of a lot more if they're going to come away from this without what would be hugely damaging defeat. A draw would certainly look a good result, knowing going into their final group game with Burundi. The ball clipped in, but it's good goalkeeping from Gubeka. Made a decision early. And look at that, 68% possession for Nigeria. And certainly Coach Senong may have hoped he might have been able to see a different way for his team to play, but after what could be termed relative success against Niger, very hard to change when you're then going to play one of the strongest sides in the tournament, if not the strongest. What will be interesting is if South Africa were able to get a positive result. Oh, well, it's a really, really poor challenge. Out of control, really, from Mekise, the goal-scoring hero for South Africa on match day 1. He is the first in the book today. Off his feet. And it was an easy decision and quick decision from the referee. The ball breaking there. And he's just come up against his opposite number, Jamil. Quick play from Nigeria, and Jamil. I said he likes to have his opportunities from distance. Took that to the nth degree. Not a worry for Quebeca. Harmlessly wide. South Africa do at least have the advantage of knowing even a defeat, they may still have an opportunity to qualify for the semi-finals on the final day of Group A, depending then on what would happen in the match between Niger and Burundi. But as we edge towards the half-hour mark, despite Nigeria's domination of possession and generally enterprising play, they've only had one shot on target. But with over an hour still to play, it's so far looking a tall order for the Amajita. Battling away. The referee has got involved somewhat unnecessarily in what looked like 50-50 challenges, or 6.5 dozen of coming-togethers. Phillips does brilliantly, but Monyani can't hold the ball up, and Nigeria tried to break down this left-hand flank. Nazifi, pacey and tricky striker, but he's well dealt with. And that is the ideal result. Give more Coupe slamming the ball off Ekuem Utin. And the danger on that occasion averted. Long ball down the line, flicked on by Aruma. Fell nicely for Michael, but South Africa looked to find a way out. Long ball. Ahmed coming to the edge of his area to steal the ball away from Monyani. So goalless after half an hour of play. Well, he completely missed his first effort, Nazifi. But he's working hard to try and win the ball back, and he certainly helped his team there. Excellent play, but the ball from Ekuem. And now South Africa look to counter. Long ball, but it's way too much juice on it. And no chance for Fuwa to get on the end of that. South Africa having to be so accurate on the counters when they're looking to go long and into space and get their front three involved. So far, Nigeria haven't looked overly concerned. Cheap free kick given away by Ngobo. And now Al Hassan. Haven't seen as much of the number 8 in the past 5 or 10 minutes, but looking to get involved down the right. He allows Zaruma to go running. Reverse pass. But Hassan beaten out there. South Africa look to advance through Phillips. Lofted ball, but could have been dealt with better, really. Nigeria do regain possession. Aramo winning it back, and now Jamil to Zaruma. Well, the fullback invited by the space to try forward. Switching over to the other side, Effiong Michael. Looks back and the ball into the area. It's a good one. Nazifi was there, but put off by Kubeka. The keeper doing enough. Nigeria looking to build the pressure cooker and hope to bring it to boiling point. Effiong Michael comes short, and Zaruma drops the shoulder, drives into the space. It's laid off to Jamil. I mean, it gets to Effiong, but this was the chance. Keeper's done brilliantly. And so far, the captain of South Africa certainly hasn't looked rusty from missing the opening match. He's been decisive, which is certainly what a defence desperately wants from their goalkeeper. And so far, it's been relatively comfortable opening 34 minutes for the Cape Umoja goalkeeper. Just recently turned 20 at the start of January. A number of which he wears. Now launches long into the Nigerian half, and the ball bouncing all over the shop. There's a bit of space for Fewa, but it's closed down once he gets to the ball, but it's lifted in. Strong header. And Orzan Wafor winning the free kick for the late attention from Monyani. Nomad looking for options, elects finally to go long. Good flick, but launched away. The flight of the ball catches Nigeria out. Although they quickly watch South Africa cough up possession. He's done brilliantly there, at least to keep it in. South Africa still can clear their lines. Great touch from Fewa into Ngobo. Just looking for a little bit of possession. Blom, haven't seen much of him. The midfield often bypassed. I know it's a real risk there taken by Coupe, but it's paid off. A few gasps, potentially even from the South African bench, but I guess Givemore would say it ends well. It's all well. In the line for Mariani, looks to get away, but it just, see the striker run out of space. Kobo just to get left, and provide support. Go back to Blom, who looks long and high into the box. And it's got to be on a sixpence. Those balls forward. So far, South Africa haven't found that accuracy. Certainly, South Africa's formation has begun to frustrate Nigeria. Well, what's that for? A sign from Sengnon. I'm sure he was convinced why the free kick was given. And he'll be delighted with all the troubles that South Africa have had in the build-up. They got a point from their opening game, and so far they're all square with Nigeria. And they're edging ever closer to a half-time whistle. South Africa would certainly see a goalless draw at the break. And his job half done. A draw with a chance to steal a win. Certainly looks the height of their ambitions. Nigeria just a little bit sloppy. As I said, difficult though on a bobbly, dry pitch. Well, it's loose from Ozan Wafor. Got his bearings all wrong. Does manage to make amends. And that's brilliant from the Nigerian captain, Ikuem. Juggling his way through the two South Africans. And then winning a free kick. Call from Igor Ogbu. Ikuem wants to go forward, clips it into the channel, but that is a waste. No chance for Jamil. Theo Michaels on the bench for the opening game has fought his way into the starting lineup with a goal-scoring cameo against Burundi. Had a couple of chances in this half already. Poor touch, allowing the defender to tackle back when he looked in on goal. Another where he won a free kick that was poorly executed into the wall shortly after. And Nigeria have just seemed a little frustrated, not found the same fluency they were showing earlier in the half. And that's one of the reasons we are goalless here in Niamey, the Senyi Konche Stadium in Niger's capital. Nigeria to come again. This is the free kick. Really clumsy challenge from Mabiliso. And in the meantime, as we watched the replay, the ball has ended up in Kubeka's hands. Well, Group B finally completed their first round of matches yesterday after Ghana, Burkina Faso had to be rearranged when they realized floodlights at the Stade de Maradi weren't going to be sufficient. Ghana and Senegal with wins to put them in pole position. One of them, as things stand, would play Nigeria in a semi-final. The Flying Eagles haven't had it their own way in this first half as Zaruma charges over to see the ball safely out ahead of Abeliso. Abubakar beats into the ball. Nigeria working from right to left. Now with Ikuem, drives to the line. And certainly winning a corner off Phillips. Trying to watch the short corner. Quebec middle there as Nigeria elect instead to place it in. It's a terrible ball though to the near post. It's not that the near post is necessarily a bad place to put it, but if there's no teammate even vaguely in the position where the ball comes in, it really is almost a footballing sin as Ikuem gets ready to launch long throw. Cleared away, backpedaling, but it's a good touch from Abubakar. It wasn't a good cross, but it almost turned into a cracking goal, if not for the attentions and concentration of Quebec as he points to his head for the rest of his teammates to get their focus back. Well, he was backpedaling to get this, dug out the cross. Not sure it would have dropped in or hit the crossbar, but goalkeeping captain of South Africa taking no risks, and it's a good punch from Quebec. Important goalkeeping. South Africa aim to keep the scores goalless with just 30 seconds plus injury time before the half-time break. Just as it had ended, three of the four matches that have taken place so far, it's going to be likely goalless at the break. Only Ghana so far have managed to score a goal in the first half. Lamote giving them the lead before his brace gave them a 2-0 win over Burkina Faso. But here today, on match day 2 of Group A, there's little to separate South Africa and Nigeria. Very different approaches to the match. Nigeria on the front foot, South Africa looking to counter. But the scores are level, as they were in both Group A matches, match day 1. Question is, can South Africa maintain their disciplined performance and keep the concentration levels high? Or will Nigeria rediscover their more fluent self with the carrot hanging of a chance to put to bed qualification with a game to spare. Nigeria Football Supporters Club, the Niger chapter, are here in force, but yet to see their side take advantage of the huge amount of possession they've had, as at